What's up, everybody? I'm Serge. That's Jason.
Hey,
And we are in quarantine. How are you, my friend?
I'm good. Quarantine's good. I'm in Georgia, so we're open up a little bit. I can't get my hair cut yet because I can't find anyone that is open that will cut my hair. But I can go bowling or get a tattoo if I wanted to do that real quick. So
You know you're in the South.
Yep.
Yeah, you know you're in the South. You can go bowling and get a tattoo,
Yep.
but not a haircut.
Yeah. I'm not gonna do either one of
You can
those
just,
things right now.
yeah, just give yourself one of those South haircuts where you just cut the top, and
Have you seen that video of he's like Australian or something? And the guy is giving himself a bowl cut with like a mirror behind him.
no.
It's very good. We'll post the link in the comments.
Okay, yeah, the super essentials, a bowl haircut. I have been getting kind of, it's not stir crazy, but I have discovered a new app and it's been helping me be very entertained in quarantine. It's called Citizen, and I live in downtown LA. If those of you that don't know, and Jason lives in
I
Atlanta.
don't care.
You should care.
I care. I care.
But I discovered this app called Citizen, and it tells you about all the crime activity in your area. And let me tell you, crime downtown LA is so scary sometimes because all the freaks come out at night, and all my friends, basically all my friends.
No comment.
And some of the crimes are so obscure. Like the other day, it was man throwing rocks, or man armed with a sword,
What?
or woman. Dude, I swear. And the other thing is, there's a comment thread, and people can post videos. So it's a real thing. Like people will say, like, "Oh yeah, I saw him. He's on Hill and Ninth." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is a real thing."
Stay inside.
Yeah, I used to go running at night sometimes. Guess what I don't do anymore is run at night.
Don't do that.
Like the other day I saw a woman weaponizing a broom, and I was like, "Mom, are you in town? What's going on?"
Wow.
So yeah, Citizen app. If you live in a major city, I think it doesn't work for some like smaller markets, but I'm sure they're working on that. But it is entertaining, and the comments are just fire. Like there's some of them are so funny. It's great. Anyways, we're killing time.
Yeah.
Here.
What are we talking about? Sorry.
Yeah, we just got on here to talk about our lives. Okay, bye guys.
See you next time.
So our topic today is content and getting the most mileage out of your content. One of the hardest things is getting time or thinking of new or innovative ways to get content. So we thought, why not help people, give people some tips and tricks of how to take a piece of content and stretch it out as much as possible, not only because it's good to have multiple ways of presenting your content, but also it's good to take one piece of content and blow it up and stretch it out.
Yeah. Can I say one thing before you get into the house?
You may, sir.
Thanks.
You may.
Getting content out is one of the top things you need to do if you're going to be online and you want people to come and find you, right? And so I will say about us, the cobbler's kids have no shoes. The cobbler is the one who makes the shoes. And we do an awful job for ourselves sometimes of being so busy with client work or anything else that we don't do content ourselves. So we're creating content for others and we're not even doing it for ourselves. This is a priority for you, especially if you're finding yourself with some time. This is the way to do it. Don't get bogged down with the fact that it has to be perfect, because if you're watching this video right now, you know that it doesn't have to be perfect just to get content.
Let me tell you, it's not
we're
perfect.
starting at a place where we want to get better. We're going to get better. But if you just look at even like our first episode and what we've been talking about, we're already better than we were. No comments, please, down below about that. But we know, but we're going to get better. And that's the goal. You've got to start somewhere so that you can make it better. And here's some ways to get started on that.
Speaking of people giving us comments, I asked a friend if we're doing good and how am I doing on my camera, speaking to a
Dangerous.
camera. And my friend was like, I could tell if you're uncomfortable, but you're trying. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks.
Thanks.
Like my self-esteem is just in the toilet. but I'm trying. I'm not going to give up. Okay, so first point is video. It's I want to say it's the hottest thing, but it's been around forever.
Right.
We just it's becoming more and more popular, I guess. But video is very easy to do. We all have super phones now. I don't even want to call them smartphones anymore. They're super phones. They can do everything. I'm shooting this on my phone right now, and your phone is very capable of not only shooting the content, but editing it, posting it, everything. You can do everything from your phone. So video content is very easy to do, and it is very important. So you take the video content that you create, and you can post it. You can chop it up into pieces. You can do a lot of different things with it. So the video thing is kind of like, it's an easy place to start. You can start by talking into your camera. You could, if you mess up, we didn't mess up today. This is not a second try. But if you mess up, you can always redo it, unless you're doing it live. But even then, you could just delete it. So it's not that hard. So video content is the first one. The second one is taking that video content and transcribing it. And what I mean by that is not taking the video and just verbatim transcribing all the ums and ahs and pauses, but taking the video content and putting it to text. So whatever you talked about, turning it into a blog. It's a lot easier when you have a video of that topic instead of just sitting there trying to think of it. Sometimes creating a blog is so it's a daunting task because I can't remember all those things. I'm not a good writer, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. Just take the video, transcribe it, and then you can polish it. Once you have the video in text, you can polish it, or you can edit it, you can elaborate on it, you can maybe think of new things that you forgot to put in the video and put it in the text. That content can now be put into a blog post that lives on your website that helps your SEO, or it could be just a post on your, if it's a short little clip, it could be just a little short post on your social media platform.
Yeah. And as far as helping SEO, what happens is, instead of, if the search engine robots are coming down, crawling your website, and they just see a block of a video, they don't know what's in that video. They might be able to see it over, if it's hosted on YouTube or something like that, they'll be able to see what the description is about, and you can do little things around the meta tags to not get super technical. But if the whole blog post, they can read all of that content and understand that this content matches the other things you're talking about on your website or outside of your website and people are pointing back to. So the search engines are missing out on this amazing video content and conversation we're having right now, but we can put it into text and they will know exactly what we're talking about, which is a huge piece of SEO. So go ahead.
Third point is a summary post. Well, this is what I'm calling it. Summary post is not necessarily a full blog post, but like last week we talked about the essential things your website needs to have. We put out a post that has the 4 main elements in the post. So either a reminder or the first time someone sees it is like, oh wow, these are great points. I'm going to go watch that video, or I'm going to go read that blog more in depth. So a summary post doesn't necessarily always have to be just the points. It could be a quote. If you said something super smart or brilliant or funny or important, you're like, hey, that could be a post. So it could be a post on a story. It could be a post in your Instagram feed, your Facebook. Maybe just 4 quick bullet points. Let's say if it's on your Facebook, for example, 4 quick bullet points and a small description of those bullet points. On Instagram, maybe it's just a graphic of those points. And maybe in the comments, you can create a little bit more info about those points. Yeah. So there's, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you could do multiple short quips just to drive something home. That was really helpful. And you're also, if people are giving you feedback, they're going to say, hey, we'd like to know more about that. Well, then that's the one that you really hammer on, because that's what people are interested in. So anyway, you can make multiple of those.
Yes. And speaking of multiple, my fourth point is, you can take those points now and you can break them into mini either videos or clips or whatever it may be. You could take, I would call it like multiple ongoing posts, like a drip feed where you're dripping that content. Let's say I had 4 points and I can make each one of those a little post that has more information. Because again, everybody consumes information differently. That's one thing. Second thing is, sometimes people need to see your information multiple times before they'll want to work with you or buy your product or use your services. So the more you the more you create ways for people to consume your information or your content, the more chances you increase your visibility, your fan base, your audience, your customer base, and just exposure.
Yeah.
And do you want to add something to that, or you're just?
Well, I was just going to say that you are the expert in whatever your field is, right? You're the one that has all the content. It's already in your brain. You could talk about it for hours and hours and hours. Well, you're going to have to tell that to people multiple times. So that telling people the same thing over and over is not a bad thing. We tell the same thing to multiple people over and over. We say the same thing to the same person many, many times.
And sometimes they don't hear it.
Right. So repeating it is not a bad thing. Just because it's something that you know and it's just like common sense to you doesn't mean it's common sense to everybody else. So repeating the most important things about you is important. It's a good thing.
And the last one, and this one's not really for everybody. This is kind of dependent on your industry, your topic, how you as a person, is a podcast. You can take that video and turn it into a podcast. So the podcast might not be, if you're doing a tutorial on how to change your garbage disposal, that's not going to be a good podcast. Maybe just stick to video on that one. But if you're talking about something that is a topic that can be turned into a podcast, that's not a bad idea, is to take that video content, pull the audio, and turn it into a podcast, and then you can have another platform that you are using. And also that depends on how you're doing your video as well. If you're doing a walk and talk and kind of showing things, that's probably not going to be a good podcast, whether you're in an industry that is podcast friendly or not. But if you want to, video could be turned into a podcast like that, and then you have another platform that you're using.
Yeah.
So those are 4 topics. There are some other ones out there. I'm sure there's some other ones in there that we're missing, but we want to give the 4 big ones that we use and that we thought of. If you have more questions or have more things you want us to talk about, we have another thing that we're going to talk about is another post is tools you could be using on your website and more in-depth ways of developing your content and little tips and tricks as far as like using video or creating graphics and things like that we're going to talk about in the future weeks to come. So thanks a lot. Please subscribe, Mom. And she doesn't have Instagram, or she doesn't watch my videos. So please subscribe if you can. It really helps us to be in front of everyone. And see you next time.
See you.